My name is Jose Garcia Fernandez. I'm the Vice President of Technology of Child Rescue Coalition. I'm responsible for the development of law enforcement tools for the protection of for the protection of children. We have developed from crawlers that we deploy in the internet that collect data from different sources. Then they are sent to our servers where we run a series of ETL processes like geolocating what their IP is, ranking, depending of the content of those leads, and providing a complete view of every IP using a very large database that has over 18 billion records. At the other end, we have a web application where law enforcement agents log in, and depending what their jurisdiction is, they will find a dashboard that will show which ones are the most dangerous targets in their jurisdiction, ranked by different algorithms, so they can do what they can do best, that is, take that data that is already processed by the computers and go to a judge and through the legal process of obtaining a search warrant, go to the house, take this guy, and move it through the prosecution to put him in jail. It has been proven that this is a very effective way to make predators go to jail, because the victims themselves, the children, don't even know that what has happened to them. And in 99% of the cases, they are not going to step forward and speak out. Many times it's people that is very close to their families, are people that are in positions of trust, like teachers, like nurses, like the religious leaders. So this is a very effective way to get to the doors of the houses of the child predators and take it off of the streets for a long time. Here is my background. I bachelor in computer science. I also have a master in computer science from Purdue University and a master in computer information systems from Nova Southeastern University. I also almost had an MBA, but I have to leave it because I got a scholarship from Fulbright to make my master's degree in Purdue University during that time. So next. So exactly who we are. We are Child Rescue Coalition, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are in Boca Raton, Florida. We are dedicated to create and provide technology to protect the innocence of children with the best technology that can be found today in the whole world. We have more than 12 years of experience. We started around 2008. There were some efforts from Wyoming police who started the system right around 2005, 2006. And right now the system is being used for more than 2,000 trained investigators in more than 90 countries. We cover all the 50 states, more than 90 countries. We recently have passed the 10,000 arrests, and we know we have confirmed more than the 2,000 children rescued, although that number could be a lot higher because some are active investigation and some police doesn't share all the details. And the most important is when you took some pedophiles out of the streets, it's been said that between 50 to 100 victims, one pedophile can have around, in his lifetime, between 50 and 100 children. So taking these guys out of the street saves a lot of children to passing through this. Also, children that are subject to exploitation can become exploiters themselves when they are adults, and also their lives is almost destroyed. No, we're talking very close. We tend to think that those child predators are people around that, but in reality, many times it's very close family members or people of trust, even people that try to get those jobs that make them have easy access to children. See next. So 12 years, I will say how we started. It was around 2008, big event. During 2008 was the prime mortgage crisis. The prices of houses plummet. That means that most police get their budgets from the taxes they collect, and even more importantly at the local and state levels. So there was this police. I was working for TLO. It's a company that created TLO XP. If you don't know this company, it's about the Google of personal information. I can put your first name and a city, and I can find all the information about any person, their cars, their properties, any if they have been in jail, bankruptcies. So it has a lot of applications on insurance, banking, collections, but the biggest customers has always been law enforcement. When something happens, law enforcement investigators use this tool to try to find, like, depending the case, no? There is a kidnapping, no? Sometimes if there is a relative of the father is moving north, where he could go. If there is a relative north, but if you remember the sniper, the Washington sniper in DC, they knew that he was driving a van, a white van, but only have partial numbers of license. It was before TLOXP, but that helped to get a list of only 12 people with that characteristics, and one of them was the sniper that was finally caught. So they were losing their budget. They came to us. They gave us a presentation, and the founder of the company, or Hank Asher, the TLOXP, just told us, see if you can help. You're going to work with them for 2-3 weeks. So we developed a set of tools, and time later, we were putting those tools on production, creating a lot of records. We inherited like 50 million records on a MySQL database. Right now, we are producing more than 50 million records per day. Maybe less than a year than when we started to hit the limits of the MySQL database. We were close to 1 billion records. And we were a company that was, at that time, creating if you remember HPCC, is LexisNexis high performance computing platform. It's like the Hadoop, older, but it's a C++, very effective. We were creating the newest version of that. So when we were going to production, I asked why we don't use this technology to follow these records. So we moved from a MySQL database to 30. We got 30 machines to put 2 clusters, and we have increased from 1 billion records, and right now we have 18 billion records. And we have developed and go through other systems. We went in the United States 10 years ago. We have now 90 countries. And almost every news article you find about child pornography rates is all based on our systems. Here are some of the success stories. We have an operation in the UK. It was around 2 years ago, resulting in 882 arrests. 460 children were safeguarded. We have 3 operations every year on Canada, 220 investigations, 451 criminal charges, and 18 children were rescued from abuse. The other operation, Peter Pan, and most recently, infant life of infants or innocence. In 2 operations, they arrested 251 arrested over a year ago. More than 1 million of files of child exploitation material was seized. Most recently, by May, we had the second part of this operation. In one single day, they trapped 152 pedophiles. So how we use ScyllaDB? We use ScyllaDB in our newest, more digital forensic tool. What we basically do, or historically, in order to find files of child pornography or child exploitation, which is a better name, it's a subclass of pornography that is something like legal. This is actual images of children being raped, being abused. And so that's what we prefer to use that name. The historical process has been, we take every file, or law enforcement, we really don't, I haven't seen any file myself, because the law enforcement hash the files with an application we have, get the different hashes in like SHA-1, CRC, MD5, and those IDs are like a fingerprint of every file. A file like images or videos. We have a database of over 1 million child pornography files. You can then take a device and go through every file, calculate the hash, and see if there is a compare, and file if the file is there. Our solution is taking pieces, so we divided the file into many pieces, and we need, in this case, more than 12 billion records. So we need a bigger, more responsive database, and that's what we ended using as ScyllaDB. So we have more than 200 billion on ScyllaDB, and what we do is we send these hashes of a file, find where this file is in the disk, and we are able to rebuild this file. It was impossible before, because file can be spread into different sectors, so that way we can reconstruct the file. Even if what is a normal operation is, the guy collects the data and then put it in a secure storage. This way, if he deleted the file, we still can find it. Here is the scanning process. How you can help, there is our page, childrenrescuecoalition.org. I put some flyers in the door if you want to know more about that. You can sponsor. We have already applications. We just need make a sponsor training sessions so investigator can use this tool. This tool is like having 10 more police members, because with this tool, one investigator can do what they do before with 10. You can sponsor projects, or like Scylla. They have donated the Scylla Enterprise. They are giving us a license for free community support, and they are bringing us to the present to get some training and the cost of the conference.